Hi, welcome to another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'm Cheryl and I'm in charge of the craft kits at the main library. And today's video is to accompany a kit that we'll be giving out starting August 1st, 2024. But if you're not anywhere near our library and you can't get a kit, or if you're watching this later on our YouTube channel, don't worry, I'll tell you everything you need to purchase in order to make this project. What we're making today are these cute little 3D paper ornaments that just hang up, and they are made with individual pieces of scrapbook paper and glue. And we've got two different shapes that you can make, a heart or a circle. So I'll tell you what's in the kit. Okay, so what you'll have in the kit, or what you'll need to get if you don't have a kit, is a couple of templates. This is a 3.5-inch circle and a 3.5-inch heart, and you can just draw these out by hand if you'd like, but they have to be symmetrical because we're going to be folding them. And I've printed these on cardstock, and we're going to cut them out and use them to trace the shapes onto paper. And we've got pieces of scrapbook paper. We've got 10 pieces that are about 4 inches square. Now you're going to use 5 pieces for each hanging ornament. So I've got 10 pieces here, and if you're doing this at home, you just need one that's big enough to fit your shape in. And I like to do them all as different colors, so that when it turns, you have the different colors of patterns of paper. But if you're doing a theme like Valentine's Day, you can do it all in shades of red. If you're doing Christmas ones, you can do all in red and green. The colors are up to you if you're supplying your own paper. Then we've got a couple of hanging cords, and these are going to be about 18 inches long. I have 2 large hole beads. Now you can use any beads as long as the hole is big enough that you can form a loop and thread the loop through the hole like that. We have also a glue stick to glue it all together, obviously. You will need to provide a pair of scissors and a pencil. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out the shapes, and you will have enough in the kit to make 2 ornaments. Okay. So those are cut out. Now we're going to take and decide what 5 we're going to have on one ornament and what 5 we're going to have on the other. I think I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to gather up all 5 together, and if they have a directionality to the pattern, you're going to have to decide whether you want, if it's a heart, you're going to have to decide whether you want the heart going up and down or with the pattern sideways. It's up to you. And sometimes it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to flip this over to the back, and I am going to outline, I'm going to trace my design, and now I'm going to cut them out. You're welcome to cut them all out at once if you have enough hand strength, but if not, you can always just trace the heart or the design onto each piece of paper separately and cut them out one by one. That's strictly up to you, and it just depends on how well you think you can cut them out without them shifting. You're going to have to hold them very still. You absolutely have to make sure they don't shift, because you want every single shape to be exactly the same. And I'm going to do the same thing with my circle. Okay, so I've got my shapes cut out. You see them there. Now what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to work on the heart one first. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be folding each one of these in half. And you're going to fold it exactly in half, lining up each of the edges. Now, if we ended up with them not quite exactly symmetrical, we can always trim these off later. And it looks like I wasn't quite perfect with my cutting. That may be a reason you want to do it one at a time. Okay, so we've got all 5 pieces folded in half, and you do want to fold them with the inside to be the patterned edge, because we're going to be gluing the white side. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue these. I'm gonna stick a piece of paper under here so that I don't get glue on my work surface. And we're just going to glue these together in a stack. So, and the important part about gluing them together is you make sure and line up the edges, not the outside edges, but the folded edges. That's the most important part to line up, because we need that to be straight and all in a line, because when we open it up, it needs to be flat. And I'm going to do that for all 5 pieces. So I have them all together in a stack. Put my glue aside for a second. And I'm going to set this aside so you'll see here's it all done up. Now, if we didn't trim it properly, or if our pattern was a little bit misshapen, now we can go through and we can see where they don't quite match sometimes. We can go ahead and at this point we can trim the edges to get rid of any of the white parts that are showing. All right. Now we don't want to glue this together yet, okay? So we're going to just leave this in a stack like that for a second. Now we're going to take our hanging cord, and we're going to have to tie a knot in the bottom, because if we just sandwich this like this, if you tug too hard, even if we glue it, it might come all straight through. So we're going to have to tie a knot near the bottom. It doesn't have to be exactly on the bottom, it just needs to be so there we go. There's our knot. Now it's time to glue it together. So we're going to open up one of the flaps, or we can open it up even halfway like this. Now we're going to place this in the center with the knot right below it. You don't want to glue the knot inside, because then you'll have this little weird lump that won't glue right. So you have the knot below, just below the bottom. We can run a line of glue in the center so that the string will stay in position, which is kind of a little bit of help. Okay. Then we're going to fold these two together and try and line them up. Now remember, on this one we'll need to also trim. sure that they are. Okay, so then we open up our flaps and kind of straighten them out so they're evenly spaced around. And now we just take our loop, thread it through the large eye bead, and there we have our cute little ornament. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing with the circles, and I'll be back when they're both done. So there are our two 3D paper ornaments. And this project is a great way to use up all of those little pieces of scrapbook paper, as long as they're just a few inches square. You can use that for this project. This is also great for, let's say you've got a kids party and you want them to do a craft project, as long as they're old enough for scissors. Or you could cut out the shapes ahead of time and just let them glue them together. And then they'll have like little party favors. And if you're doing that, you can also decorate these with, let's say, glitter. So you can run a line of glue around the edges, put a little glitter on them, little sequins to decorate them, however you want to decorate them, however the kids want to decorate them. And they're simple and cute. So thanks for viewing another craft video from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. I'll see you next time. Bye.